Hello and welcome back to Joe's Math Tools. In our session today, we will be solving a rational equation by finding the LCD. And if you're ready to see how this is done, let's get started. So in solving our rational equation today, we're going to begin by first looking for our LCD. Now when making your LCD for rational equations, remember that each of your denominator must be a part of the LCD in some way or another. So with our denominators that we have for this question, we have 15y and 6. Now since y is the only variable here, y will automatically be a part of my LCD because there are no other variables involved, so y will be the only one included. Now when it comes to our numbers 15 and 6, we're going to go back to the basics that we do when finding the LCD for fractions with unlike denominators, and we have to add or subtract them. We're going to look at these two numbers, which is 15 and 6, and see what is their lowest common multiple. And I know that with 6, when 6 is multiplied to 5, I'm going to get 30. And with 15, 15 times 2 will also give me 30. So the LCD for 15 and 6 is going to be 30. So my LCD for these denominators will be 30y. So now that I have my 30y, I'm now going to begin changing these fractions into their equivalent form where 30y is the denominator. So I'm going to start with my first fraction, which is 1/15. I remember that we're changing this to 30y. So when looking now to see how we're going to change 15 to 30y. So when changing my 15 to its LCD form of 30y, I need to see what am I going to multiply 15 by to make it 30y. So we know that earlier when I multiplied 15 times 2, that would give me 30. But I also need to include the y in my LCD, so I'm also going to put a y on that too as well, because 15 times 2y will equal to 30y. So my numerator of 1 will also be multiplied to 2y, which will equal to 2y over 30y. So I'm going to now put that 2y into my equation. And now I'm going to begin working on the second part of the second fraction in my question, which is 1y. And again, this needs to be equal to 30y. So for this number, I'm actually going to be multiplying my y times 30. Because 30 times y will equal to 30y, so 1 times 30 will equal to 30. And now for my final fraction, which is 1/6. So we have 1/6, which is equal to 30y. And for my 1/6, I will actually be multiplying my 1/6 times 5y. Because 5 times 6 is 30, and 30 times y is 30y. So my 1 will be multiplied to 5y. So we will have 5y. And now that we have changed our fractions into their equivalent form with 30y as their denominator, we're now going to begin solving this equation to find out the value of my unknown variable y. And I'm going to begin by collecting my like terms, which is my 5y and 2y. So I'm going to be moving my 2y to the 5y, and since 2 is being added here, or since it's positive, we will subtract it on the opposite side. So 30 will equal to 3y. And now we're dividing both sides of the equation by 3 using our one-step equation rule so that we can get our variable y on one side of the equation by itself. So my fraction I'm reducing by dividing by 3. So 30 divided by 3 will equal to 10. 3 divided by 3 will equal to 1. So my y will be equal to 10. So now let's check our answer. So we said that y will be equal to 10. So now we're going to perform our substitution and substitute my y with 10 into my equation. And remember that we never add or subtract fractions with unlike denominators. So our LCD for my numbers 15, 10, and 6 is going to be 30. So we will be changing these fractions into their equivalent form where 30 is in the denominator. So let's begin with my first fraction. And just like we did earlier, where we multiply 30 times 2, 15 times 2, we will multiply 15 times 2 again. So we're going to put in our 2. And now with my 10, we know that with 10, we are going to be multiplying my 10 times 3. Because 10 times 3 will equal to 30. And 1 times 3 will equal to 3. And now for our last and final fraction, which is 1/6. My 1/6, I am now going to be multiplying by 5 again. So 6 times 5 is 30, and 1 times 5 will equal to 5. Okay, so now that we have everything with its LCD, and you could already see from the numerator how this is going to work out, because 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, and we're going to have 5 is equal to 5, which means that my solution y equals to 10 is the correct answer for my equation, and it satisfies my equation to where everything works out and is equal on both sides. So there you have it. We just solved another rational equation, and it was very easy, as you can see. Remember that the more that you practice these questions, the easier they will become. So get some additional practice in, develop your skills, become a better mathematician, and when you're ready, I'll be right here in the next video on Jules Math Tools, where we make math easy.